And we'll just take this brush and we'll just bounce in some nice shapes. Now when we're doing this, we're interested in the white area, not the dark. So don't worry about the dark area. We're going to blend that all out. All we're doing is putting in some color for the shadows of our clouds. And this is one of the nicest, easiest ways of making very effective, great, big old clouds. There. See, we're interested in this white area once again. Maybe there's another little cloud that lives in our world right along there. Wherever you think they should be, then that's exactly where they should be. Just wherever. And just use the old little 1-inch brush and just, I'm making tiny little circles. Just tiny little circles.
Well, I've just discovered he's using a 1-inch brush and I'm using a 2-inch brush.
Maybe I'll add a little color right in here too. Just so there'll be a little color at the base of this cloud. There. Now then, let's take our little brush. This is a 2-inch brush. And go right up in here and very gently, I'm using just the corner of the brush. We'll make little round circle patterns here. Just sort of wind it up, blend it together. Allow it to blend with the white that's already on the canvas. And that's the joy of this wet on wet painting technique. The fact that it's wet allows you to blend color right on the canvas.
Don't wait here.
Canvas.
Don't wait here.
There you go. Now it's beginning to make a little sense. See how those dark areas end up being the nice shadows, and the white areas will end up being our clouds. This is a great way to make clouds for seascape paintings. It's great, big, fluffy clouds. Looks very nice. There we are. Now then, while we have this old brush dirty, tell you what let's do. Let's go back into a little bit more of that phthalo blue. Phthalo blue is a very nice color. It's very warm blue. I like that. Just a little color in the brush. Okay, let's go back up here. Let's have some water in this painting. If you've painted with me before, you know I'm a fanatic for water. I love water. And it's one of the nicest, easiest things to paint in this technique. And today, maybe this one will be still water, so we want these lines to be basically straight across here. Because as you know, still water is always flat, always level. There.
Why is my phthalo blue so much darker than his?
Just very lightly, all the way across, and sort of bring it together. And that light area here, it'll remain in there. There. Okay. Now, the most fun part of this whole technique is washing the brush. So let's do that. We wash our brushes with odorless thinner. Shake off the excess. And just beat the devil out of it. This is where you take out all your frustrations and hostilities and just have a good time. Let's go into a little titanium white.
Fan brush.
We'll use the old fan brush. We'll make some little clouds. I'll be right back. Let me grab a least little touch of the bright red. Just enough, a little bit more. There we go. Just enough to put a little pinkish glow into our little clouds. Don't want much. Don't want much. Okay, let's go up here. Now we got to make big decisions.
What color is that?
We'll just use this brush and decide where our little clouds live. And we just come along here and sort of drop them in. This also works very well with a little 1-inch brush. Very well. Either way that you want to do it.
It's not going right.
Either way. If you haven't painted with us before, one of the things that we try to do here,
too red, man.
We try not to teach you just to copy. All we're trying to do is teach you a technique and turn you loose on the world.
Oh dear, that's not going well.
We use no patterns.
No, that's not going well.
No tracings.
Shit.
All we do is just sort of have an idea in our mind and we just sort of let it happen. And if you'll practice this a little bit, very soon you can enjoy the freedom of creating a painting right on the canvas.
Let it bloody happen, he says. Mix red with it. Look, look, look.
It's when you can just literally create a painting right on the canvas as you're working on it.
Really?
You look at what you're doing and you'll see things. They'll just sort of happen.
Bob. Seriously. Bob. Come on now, look. You just told me to put red in my white. And it didn't happen. I'm not happy, Bob. looks a bit better. But then it just spreads the blue around. Why is that a thing? How does that even... Wait, where was that? Let me blend some more of this shit up. I think it's just a case that this paint was just too thick here. So I am just going to wing it. Oh, wait here. Right. Your high dollar paint isn't as thick as his paint. See that? See that? That's thicker than his paint. So there you go. Right, so what he did there was... But it's just making pink clouds, so this is not the idea. Why did he put red in that white and then it just looks like white paint on the... How is that a thing? And then all it does is catch the blue. What the heck? Let's take that off. In fact, my high dollar paint is so thick, I'm having to add linseed oil to it to make it a little bit more workable. Otherwise, it's clogging up all the bristles in the fan brush. So, in fact, he did mention using a 1-inch brush, didn't he? Let's try that. It's like the cooking shows that tell you the wrong ingredients, so your dish isn't as yeah, you know. All it does is just spread the blue around. How is that even? What the fuck, Bob? Really, Bob? I mean, come on, man. I'm starting to lose faith in you, Bob. This isn't how it's supposed to be, Bob. I'm feeling cheated, Bob. The devil is still in the brushes, yes. Yeah. Let's just do this. This seems to make more sense to me. So what I'm doing instead is I'm basically just smashing the brush into the paint that way and then smashing it into the canvas this way, because that kind of seems to make a bit more bloody sense. And I'm not putting any bloody red in it. Not impressed, Bob. I feel cheated, Bob. I really do. That looks nothing like a bloody cloud. What the hell? See, what I don't get is, how does he get that looking all so nice and fluffy and textured and stuff like that when there's no other colours in there? How does that even work? Wait, hang on a minute. I just had an epiphany moment. Let's make that extra blue work for us a little. Jesus, I could end up never painting in oils again after tonight. I'll just go back to airbrushing. I know where I am with that. I would have had these bloody clouds done if I was using an airbrush by now. Especially build his easel so he could have fixed cameras to it. So yeah, I can see that. Right, did he do some down here as well? I've got to cover this bit in, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to do my own take on this, because that's what it's all about, right? Okay, do you know that actually looks half decent on the camera than it does. Is my paint thinner odorless? That might be a problem. It might be high. It isn't odorless, but I've actually got a lid on it, so no. Right. Okay. So that's that bit. And then what did he do? Did he do fluffing and stuff? Wait a minute. Oh wait, isn't fluffing something that porn actors do?
Do it. Either way. If you haven't painted with us before, one of the things that we try to do here, we try not to teach you just to copy. All we're trying to do
well,
is
you're
teach
definitely
you
not getting a copy here,
turn
Bob.
you loose on the world. We use no patterns, no tracings. All
That's
we do
not
is
the
just
way
sort
I
of
was
have
able
an
to do
idea
it,
in
Bob.
our mind, and we just sort of let it happen. And if you'll practice this a little bit, very soon you can enjoy the freedom of creating a painting right on the canvas. Right on the canvas. And to me, that's where it really becomes fun. It's when you can just literally create a painting right on the canvas as you're working on it. You look at what you're doing and you'll see things. They'll just sort of happen. And you learn
Personally,
to take
I
advantage
think Bob
of
had been
whatever
breathing in a
happens
bit
and
too
use it
much bloody thinners.
to make your painting special. And you can do that. Okay, let's go back. Get our old 2-inch brush. And I just want to now blend all that together. Just blend it together. I'm being careful not to touch these top edges yet. I'm just blending the blue and the white
2-inch
down
brush.
together. Very gently. Still using
This
little
bit's going to go
circular
horribly wrong.
strokes. There we go. Just sort of let that mix together. I'm getting very close to the top, but I'm trying not to touch it at this point. Very close, but not touching. There. A little bit up in here. See? Just sort of blend it together. Mix it up. Just like you,
This looks
like you're making a
fucking
cake or
awful.
something. Just mix it up.
Oh,
In here. Right there. Okay.
I'll definitely be scraping this one off at the end.
But this is a beautiful way. I just beat the brush like that to knock off excess paint. It's a beautiful way to create very effective, big, fluffy clouds. Now we're just sort of lifting it up. This will blend it all together, smooth it out. There. See? And then very lightly, 2 hairs and some air, just gently, gently, gently blend the entire sky. And with that, shoot, we have a pretty nice looking little sky. And there wasn't anything to it. Now then, let's get crazy. We'll use some midnight
Let's get
black,
crazy, he says.
little Prussian blue. Now, Prussian blue is much darker than phthalo blue. It's strong. Ooh, very strong color. We'll put some Van Dyke brown, little alizarin crimson in there too. But we're looking for a very dark color. It should look black. Pull it out as flat as you can get it. Go straight down with a knife. And we'll just cut off a little roll of paint. There it is. It's right out on the edge of the knife. Let's go up here. Now I want to make some tiny little mountains up in here that are far away. I don't want these to be very big because we want to create the illusion of distance here. Using a very firm pressure, just literally push this right into the fabric.
So much excess paint on that.
And I don't want a lot of mountains today. That's about all we need. With a 2-inch brush, I'm going to grab this and pull it. Just pull it. It does 2 things. Removes excess paint.
This is not a Bob
And
approved
brings
painting
all this
technique.
together.
I bet Bob would approve.
You know, we're painting
I know he
mountains, as you know. You always want the top of the mountain to be more distinct than the bottom of the
To be
mountain.
honest,
Because
I
at the
don't
bottom, we have mist.
Hey, we're getting
now
there,
we
man.
have
We're getting there.
manifold pollution. And we have all
Oh,
these
shit.
things that
Have we
break
got
up
palette
and
knives
diffuse
involved
light.
next?
And it creates
Oh,
this
boy.
softness at the base of the mountain. Let's go into a little titanium white. What the heck? Very small amount. Get a very, very small amount of paint.
Well, I've seen better clouds, but
Now
there you
then.
go.
Barely touch it. No pressure. No pressure. And I don't want this to be very distinct. I want this to be very quiet, subdued, far away, gentle.
Those look like some happy clouds.
Think about those types
Yeah, they're
of words and
ecstatic.
stuff when you're painting, and it'll help you.
Right.
It'll help your
Oh,
hand
God. Okay, here we go.
go gentle.
So I need to go backwards again because
Very
I missed
soft.
all of that.
Mix it up.
Look at that. How did he make that look so good? Mine just
Right there.
what happened there? Seriously.
Okay.
I do need to actually blend that out a bit, don't I?
But this is a beautiful way. I just beat the brush like that to knock off excess paint. It's a beautiful way to create very effective, big, fluffy clouds. Now we're just sort of lifting it up. This will blend it all together, smooth it out. There. very lightly. 2 hairs and some air. Just gently, gently, gently blend the entire sky. And with that, shoot, we have a pretty nice looking little sky. And there wasn't anything to it. Now, let's get crazy.
Right.
We'll use some midnight black, a little Prussian blue. Now, Prussian blue is much darker than phthalo blue. It's strong. Ooh, very strong color. We'll put some Van Dyke brown, a little alizarin crimson in there too. But we're looking for a very dark color. It should look black. Pull it out as flat as you can get it. Go straight down with the knife. And we'll just cut off a little roll of paint. There it is. It's right out of the edge of the knife. Let's go up here. Now I want to make some tiny little mountains up in here that are far away. I don't want these to be very big because we want to create the illusion of distance here. Using a very firm pressure, just literally push this right into the fabric. And I don't want a lot of mountains today. That's about all we need. With a 2-inch brush, I'm going to grab this and pull it. Just pull it.
Right, what did he do?
It does 2 things. Removes excess paint, and it blends all this together. Let's get crazy. We'll use some midnight black, a little Prussian blue. Now, Prussian blue is much darker than phthalo blue. It's strong. Ooh, very strong color. We'll put some Van Dyke brown, a little alizarin crimson in there too. But we're looking for a very dark color. It should look black. Pull it out as flat as you can get it. Go straight down with the knife, and we'll just cut off a little roll of paint. There it is. It's right out of the edge of the knife. Let's go up here. Now I want to make some tiny little mountains up in here that are far away. I don't want these to be very big because we want to create the illusion of distance here. Using a very firm pressure, just literally push this right into the fabric. And I don't want a lot of mountains today. That's about all we need. With a 2-inch brush,
well, that's not going well.
Pull it.
Oh dear, Rick.
Pull it.
Tiny little roll of paint.
Removes excess
None
paint,
of it comes off the...
and it blends all this together. There we go. And when we're painting mountains, as you know, you always want the top of the mountain to be more distinct than the bottom of the mountain. Because at the bottom, we have mist, and now we have wonderful
your mountains look shit hot, mate.
And we have all these things that break up and diffuse the light, and it creates this softness at the base of the mountain.
You're saying my paint
Let's go into a little
isn't
titanium
thick enough?
paint. What the heck? Very small amount.
Look, it's that thick,
very,
it won't
very
even
small
come off the
paint.
bloody
Now then,
palette
barely
knife.
touch it. No pressure. No pressure. And I don't want this to be very distinct. I want this to be very quiet, subdued, far away.
This little roll of paint, I'll tell you what, do you know what? I'm just going to wing it and I'm going to do it my own bloody way.
Types of words and stuff, and it'll help you. It'll help your hand be much more gentle, but very soft. Don't want a lot of detail in this. And we'll take a little bit of blue and white.
When I die, Bob,
Just the indication of some shadow.
me and you're going to have some words, mate.
Back here. Too much detail will ruin that illusion of distance. Just enough to give the feeling that there's a nice mountain living back in there. With a clean dry brush, following the angles.
It just doesn't come off.
We're going to very gently tap it and then lift it upward. And that'll help also with that illusion of mist at the base of the...
Well, I've completely lost my place now.
Let's get crazy.
Let's go back again.
Find another 1-inch brush. Or you can use your fan brush, whatever. Strong color. We'll put some Van Dyke brown, a little alizarin crimson in there too. But we're looking for a very dark color. It should look black. Pull it out as flat as you can get it. Go straight down with the knife.
Right,
We'll
see what it does there? Look, it gets that little roll up,
right out of the edge of the knife. Let's go up here.
I need to thin my paint.
Make some tiny little mountains up in here that are far away. I don't want these to be very big because we want to create the illusion of distance here. Using a very firm pressure, just literally push this right into the fabric. And I don't want a lot of mountains today. That's about all we need. With a 2-inch brush, I'm going to grab this and pull it.
It just don't come off the damn.
It does two things. It removes excess paint.
Spread that around a little bit there.
And it blends all this together. There we go. And when we're painting mountains, as you know, you always want the top of the mountain to be more distinct than the bottom of the mountain. Because at the bottom, we have mist, and now we have wonderful pollution, and we have all these things that break up and diffuse the light, and it creates the softness at the base of the mountain.
Right, well, I can tell you for a fact right now, looking at what he's doing there, it's not.
Very small amount. Get a very, very small amount of paint on the knife. Now then,
his paint there that he's pulling out, that when he does that little roll,
and I don't want this to be very distinct.
Than what is actually coming together when I mix it there.
Far away, gentle.
So it is thinned with something. That is without a doubt.
Of words and stuff when you're painting, and it'll help your hand go much.
Right, I've lost my place
gentle,
again now.
But very fabric. And I don't want a lot of mountains today. That's about all we need.
What else has he done?
The 2-inch brush.
I'm missing something.
Grab this and pull it. Like brown, little alizarin crimson in there too. But we're looking for a very dark color. It should look black. Pull it out as flat as you can get it. Go straight down with the knife, and we'll just cut off a little roll of paint. There it is.
Yep,
right out of the edge of the knife. Let's go up here. Now I want to make some tiny little mountains up in here that are far away. I don't want these to be very big, because we want to create.
Silly thing is I've got a rubber glove on my left hand because I'm left-handed, but I'm doing most of it in my right hand.
Using a very firm pressure, just literally push this right into the fabric.
Okay, well I've already fucked that up.
A lot of mountains today. That's about all we need.
Oh, I know a way to fix it.
The 2-inch brush. Grab this.
Where's it gone?
Where's it? It does two things. Removes excess paint, and it blends all this together. There we go. And when we're painting mountains, as you know, you always want the top of the mountain to be more distinct than the bottom of the mountain. Because at the bottom, we have mist, and now we have wonderful pollution, and we have all these things that break up and diffuse the light, and it creates this softness at the base of the mountain. Let's go into a little titanium white. What the heck? Very small amount. Get a very, very small amount of paint on the knife. Now then, barely touch it. No pressure. No pressure. And I don't want this to be very distinct. I want this to be very quiet.
This isn't going to work at all.
Subdued. Far away. Gentle.
It's already too dark.
Soft. Think about those types of words and stuff when you're painting. It'll help your hand go much more gentle, but very soft. Don't want a lot of detail in this. Of distance here.
Keep being distracted.
Using a very firm pressure, just literally push this right into the fabric. And I don't want a lot of mountains today. That's about all we need. With a 2-inch brush, I want to grab this and pull it. Just pull it.
Oh, I'm only using the one. Oh, that's already well and truly fucked, man.
And it blends all this together. There we go. And when we're painting mountains, as you know.
So even though I used exactly the same paint that he's asked on there,
we have mist, and now we have wonderful pollution.
It came out like that.
And we have all these things that break up and diffuse the light,
I'm not buying
and it creates
your
the
bullshit,
softness at the base of the mountain. Let's go into a little titanium white. What the heck? Very small amount. Get a very, very small amount of paint on the knife. Now then,
I'm almost on the verge of giving this up.
And I don't want this to be very distinct. I want this to be very quiet, subdued.
Because that's just a horrible black blob right now.
Gentle, soft. Think about those types of words and stuff when you're painting, and it'll help your hand go much more gentle.
Which I've now run out of because I had to use it.
Very soft. Don't want a lot of detail in this. And we'll take a little bit of blue and white, and just the indication of some shadow. Don't even want a lot of shadow back here. Too much detail will ruin that illusion of distance. Just enough to give the feeling that there's a nice mountain living back in there. With a clean dry brush, following the angles. Always follow those angles. You're going to very gently tap it and then lift it upward. And that'll help also create that illusion of mist at the base of the mountain. Shoot, let's get crazy.
Yeah, let's get crazy, Bob.
Brush.
Yeah.
Or you could use your fan brush, whatever. Take a little bit more of the titanium away. Maybe in our world, maybe this old class.
Yeah, in your world,
all these
everything's
things
really
that break up and
fucking easy.
diffuse the light, and it creates this softness at the base of the mountain. Let's go into a little titanium white. What the heck? Very small amount. Get a very, very small amount of paint on the knife. Now then, barely touch it. No pressure. No pressure. And I don't want this to be very distinct.
I mean, realistically, he does have actually both better palette knives than I do as well.
Far away, gentle, soft. Think about those types of words and stuff when you're painting, and it'll help your hand go much more gentle, but very soft. Don't want a lot of detail in this.
Oh, this is fucked, man.
And we'll take a little bit of blue and white, and just the indication of some shadow. Don't even want a lot of shadow back here. Too much detail will ruin that illusion of distance.
That don't look like a mountain at all. That's fucked, man.
Just enough.
Right.
Just enough to give the feel.
Some of this. The problem with it being so dark is it's not easy to actually remove it. I'm actually doing a better job with this with the oh dear. Right. How to paint with a kitchen towel. Starters edition. Right, let's get rid of all that. There's too much excess paint there. That's ridiculous. Oh, nice. Right, so I need to work out, actually, I think this is going to be a better palette knife to use for that. See, it don't. Personally, I think I need to thin this paint. I'm absolutely adamant about that. Because I think this is too thick. I'm not gonna lie, I've kind of lost heart in this already, because I like things to be right, and when they don't go right, I get the ump. It's supposed to be an enjoyable experience, and this isn't enjoyable. It looks a lot better on this camera right now than it does me actually standing here in front of it, that's for bloody sure. Yep, just as I thought. That looks fucking awful. I'm not gonna lie.
Feeling that there's a nice mountain living back in. We have wonderful pollution, and we have all these things that break up and diffuse the light, and it creates this softness at the base of the mountain. Let's go into a little titanium white. What the heck? Very small amount. Get a very, very small amount of paint on the knife. Now then, barely touching. No pressure. No pressure. And I don't want this to be very distinct. I want this to be very quiet.
This just makes that look so
Subdued.
easy, man. No, mine don't look nothing like that.
Soft. Think about those types of words and stuff.
Oh, Jesus, Bob, you got a lot to answer for, my friend.
Much more gentle.
Anyone can paint.
But very soft. Don't want a lot of detail in this.
Let me do this. Let me try this for a minute.
And we'll take a little bit of blue and white. And just the indication of
some
some
of
shadow.
this
Don't even
out,
want a lot
man.
of
It
shadow
might go
back here.
away.
Too much detail will ruin that illusion of distance. Just enough to give the feeling that there's a nice mountain living back in there. With a clean dry brush, following the angles, always follow those angles. Run it very gently, tap it and then lift it upward. And that'll help also create that illusion of mist at the base of the mountain. Shoot, let's get crazy. Find another 1-inch brush.
You're starting to wind me up when you say that, Bob.
Take a little bit more of the titanium white. Maybe in our
Let's
world,
get crazy.
maybe this old cloud right here, it just sort of dripped right down in front of the mountain. So just a little white, little circles, tiny little circles. Shoot, maybe this one right here. I don't know. Just sort of look at your painting and make a decision. Maybe it just sort of wraps this old mountain up. We'll take 2-inch brush and just blend it together. This is a super way of making mountains look like you're just laying out here in it. I lived in Alaska for many, many years. It's one of the most beautiful scenery there. God was having a good day when he made Alaska. Beautiful. Beautiful. There, see that old mountain just
was he
lays
using
up there
more
in the
white
mist
there
now.
again?
Has a
That's
good all
fucking
day.
awful, man.
Now then, maybe we'll have some little foothills back. I like to do little foothills. With some of that same mountain color. Just enough to give.
Oh, you getting blue involved in there now as well? Really? Really, Bob?
With a clean dry brush, following the angles, always follow those angles. Run it very gently, very gently. Tap it and then lift it upward. And that'll help also create that illusion of mist at the base of the mountain. Shoot, let's get crazy. Find another 1-inch brush.
We'll call this an abstract impressionist version, yeah?
Maybe in our world, maybe this old cloud right here, it just sort of dripped right down in front of the mountain.
Is this stream going to be over
just
soon?
a little white.
Oh yeah, another 15
little
minutes,
circles,
good.
Tiny circles. Shoot, maybe this one right here. I don't know. I don't know. Just sort of look at your painting and make a decision. Maybe it just sort of wraps this old mountain up. We'll take 2-inch brush and just blend it together. This is a super way of making mountains that look like they're just laying out here in the mist. I lived in Alaska for many, many years. And you see some of the most beautiful scenery there. God was having a good day when he made Alaska. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, God was having a better bloody day.
There, see that old mountain just lays up there in the mist now and floats around.
Right,
Has a good time all day. Now that, it just sort of wraps this old mountain up. Take 2-inch brush, gently, very gently, tap it, but very soft. Don't want a lot of detail in this. And we'll take a little bit of blue and white, and just the indication of some shadow. Don't even want a lot of shadow back here. Too much detail will ruin that illusion of distance. It's enough to give the feeling that there's a nice mountain living back in there. With a clean dry brush, following the angles, always follow those angles. Going very gently, tap it and then lift it upward. And that'll help also create that illusion of mist at the base of the mountain.
There is no illusion of mist at the bottom of this mountain, Bob.
Find another 1-inch brush. Or you can use your fan brush.
It's
whatever.
just a horrible,
Take a little
horrible
bit more
mess.
titanium. Maybe in our world, maybe this old cloud right here, it just sort of dripped right down in front of the mountain. So just a little white, little circles, tiny little circles. Shoot, maybe this one right here. I don't know. I don't know. Just sort of look at your painting and make a decision.
Is I'm going to run out of
just sort
time.
of wraps this old mountain
I only
up.
usually stream for 2 hours.
We'll take
And
2-inch
I
brush.
ain't doing this shit till 3
And
o'clock
just
in the
blend it
morning, that's for
together.
bloody sure.
This is a super way of making mountains that look like they're just laying out here in the mist. I lived in Alaska for many, many years. And you see some of the most beautiful scenery there. God was having a good day when he made Alaska. Beautiful. Beautiful. There, see that old mountain just lays up there in the mist now and floats around. Has a good time all day. Maybe we'll have some little foothills back. I like to do little foothills.
Let's see if we can
Maybe
rescue
we'll take
this
some of that
thing.
same mountain color. Add at least a little touch
Unlikely.
of sap green to it. A little sap green, there we are. But it's predominantly blue. The one that's farthest away here, we'll make predominantly blue. Give me white one there. Well, and we'll use a 1-inch brush, what the heck. You could use your fan brush or 2-inch brush, it doesn't matter. Load a little color in there. And let's go right up in here. Now we have to make a big decision. Where does our little foothills live? Maybe we'll have one coming right over here. We'll start this one out back here, just using the corner of the brush and pull it straight down, gently. Maybe the little foothill comes right over like that.
So I'm just going to do my own thing here for a minute, just so I can try
Once
and
again, this is a very
cover this
individual thing.
awful
painting.
bloody nightmare up.
So just sort of look at it and make up your mind how you want your painting to be. Now then, when you're doing foothills, especially layers of foothills, you want a little misty area in between. That's your separator. So take the brush, 2-inch brush, and just tap the base of it. Or you can tap quite firmly. You can probably hear how hard I'm hitting the hand. And then very lightly, just lift it up a little bit. There. Okay. Now then, maybe we'll have several layers in here. When you're doing landscapes,
That's not the point.
each
That's
layer,
not that would
each
defeat
plane,
the whole
as it comes
object.
closer to you, should get darker in value.
I am
So we'll
kind
use
of
that same
proving a
colour,
point here,
and I'll
because
just add a little bit of that mountain colour.
as I say,
right
you
here.
may
Just
not
add a
be
little
aware of
burn to
this.
it.
I am
That'll
actually
make it
a
little
professional
darker.
artist.
Maybe
This
touch
is
it
what I
with
do
the
for a
green.
living.
There
But
we
I
go.
mostly,
Okay.
you can see the pictures down
maybe
in the corner there
over here,
scrolling.
we'll
That's all
hold
my
the brush
previous work.
up like this.
I'm
And that'll
kind
make
of proving a point that even
tops
though
that are a
Bob
little
says
taller and a little more
anyone
distinct,
can
'cause I'm
do
getting
this,
a
and
little
I say
closer
that
to you.
anyone can, it's not something that's going to happen
But you can create
instantly.
this layer after
And
layer after layer like this.
A lot of people get this
And it
preconception that
enhances
they're
your
going to
painting
go out,
tremendously
buy a
because it
bunch of
creates
oil
that
paints
illusion.
and all these bits and pieces, and by the end of an
Our
episode,
2-inch brush.
they're going to be
Once again.
as good as Bob Ross. And
Once again.
as we can quite plainly see here,
Create that mist. See how that mist in
ain't gonna
between
happen.
separates? It's your best friend. Take care of it. Take care of it. There we go. Now lift upward. And maybe, I tell you what, let's have one more. Let's have one more. I'm adding a little bit more of that dark color right into that same original pile. One more. And then maybe it lives right here. But it's darker in value. It's a little darker. There we go. And we'll let him come maybe right down in here. I don't know. There. But each layer needs to get darker in value to keep that feeling of distance in the painting. And I know I repeat that over and over, but it's so important. So important. You don't want just a flat old painting. Shoot. We want a masterpiece here. And you can do it. Once again, we're going to tap that base.
Oh,
Just
fucking
like
hell,
so.
really?
Very lightly. Lift it upward.
Wow. Okay.
There. Laying out here in the mist. I lived in Alaska for many, many years. And you see some of the
I'm
most
guessing
beautiful
I'm just going
scenery
to paint
there.
over that bit.
God was having a good day when he made Alaska. Beautiful. Beautiful. There, see that old mountain just lays up there in the mist now and floats around. Has a good time all day. Now then, maybe we'll have some little foothills back. I like to do little foothills. And we'll take some of that same mountain color. Add a least little touch of sap green to it. A little sap green, there we are. But it's predominantly blue. The one that's farthest away here, we'll make predominantly blue. Okay, let me wipe my knife off. And we'll use a 1-inch brush, what the heck. You could use your fan brush or 2-inch brush, it doesn't matter. Load a little color in there. And let's go right up in here. Now we have to make a big decision. Where does our little foothills live? Maybe we'll have one coming right over here. We'll start this one out right here.
1-inch brush.
Just using the corner of the brush and pulling straight down, gently. Maybe the little foothill comes right over like that.
But that's
Wherever